What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this I wanted to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic data that's coming out today at 10 o'clock a.m., why this is going to likely cause a big move for the markets, and what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin double this information, before I talk about what's happening with this pre-market session for the markets, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm personally not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you guarantee 20 free stocks. And the offer ends in just about 5 days from now. Anyways, for stocks like Tesla, we have some very, very nice looking setups. I've seen inverse head and shoulders like set up on Tesla as of right now. We got to hold above 186 to really see this thing push back up to 190. And if we end up failing, we want to be watching 182 as key support. If Tesla loses this, we'll be tipping all the way down to fill this gap at 178. But overall, this does look like a nice accumulation structure on Tesla, and this has upside potential. The market also looks like it has some gaps above, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. I just want to remind you all that today, 30 minutes after the market opens at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report coming out, the 5-year inflationary expectations, and the current conditions report, and a bunch of data coming out from Michigan. So at 10 a.m., we'll look for some volatility. This is going to be very important to understand consumer sentiment and what we're expecting for inflation. The market's going to likely see a big move once this data comes out, in my personal opinion. We'll see if this causes the market to pump or dump. So I'm going to break down what's very probable, at least so far. Now, please don't forget that today is June 14th. We actually have a 3.82 puts to call ratio. Max pain is at 534. So the most advantageous things for market makers are either pump the markets really hard and squeeze shorts, or you end up causing the market to dump really hard back down to 534. We're most likely going to see either a dump or a pump by the end of the day, so we'll see what the market does. Just know that we have over 1.2 million puts expiring, and we have just under about 350,000 calls expiring, a little bit under that. So we'll see how things go with all of this. This is going to be very important for how things end up moving. So we will see. Now, for more news about the markets, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are continuing to hold up, continuing to push as we're close to all-time highs, but we're at some key resistance levels as well. Tesla, also known as Yesla, kind of funny joke, it's also doing very, very well. The reason it's doing well is because, their shareholders voted to ratify Musk's pay package, and we had a lot of other bullish things come out. Musk also said that Tesla is, once again, on the verge of developing Optimus robots that could make Tesla a $25 trillion company. He was also talking about the robotaxi Tesla's developments and why he's very bullish. He did talk about AI a lot, and that was very bullish for Tesla as well. So just keep that in mind from yesterday. Stellantis' CEO also has come out and he said that the Jeep maker is working to fix a lot of mistakes in the US markets that led to sales decline, once again, to help improvements grow. Adobe is also jumping 15% in the pre-market on better than expected second quarter earnings, which is good news for them. That's absolutely awesome to hear. That is it for news. That's all I'm seeing on the news thus far. Just don't forget today is a Friday. Fridays are known for being manipulated. So starting with Tesla, we got to hold above 186. If we hold above that, I'll be looking for this inverse head and shoulders like setup to play out, and we'll easily be pushing up to the 190s. Okay. If we turn bearish, you want to see it lose 182, we'll be coming down to fill the gap if that ends up being the case. This accumulation structure looks more bullish, so I just favor upside more on Tesla as a stronger possibility. For SPY, I'm in the middle. So we're known for having a range between 540 and 544. Tesla was kind of stuck in this range for the past 2 days. And now for today, we have a gap to fill up at 542. If we get a bullish move, you want to see it hold. If we break past 541, I'll be looking for 542.5 as the next target to fill this gap up here. If we end up failing, we get a rejection. If the data causes the market to dip, we have to hold above 540 for like at least an hour or two. If we hold below 540 for like 2 hours or so, we're easily going to come down to 537 to fill our gap all the way down here. So I'm going to be very patient with this. Let's see what the reaction is to all of this data, and we'll see what this causes SPY to do. Once again, break 541, then we're bullish. We'll be looking for 542.5 as a potential target to fill this gap. If we hold below 540, then there's likely going to be downside coming and a move all the way down to about 537. So we'll just have to give it some time and see what the market does. As of right now, it is looking a little bit weaker as SPY is dipping a bit, but it's a Friday, guys, so you want to be prepared for anything just to be safe. So be patient in a market like this. Be very patient. Give it the time it needs. For Nvda, although Nvidia is pumped to this 130 area, I said earlier that 130 is going to be a tough resistance. We're now kind of shuffling at 130. If we do break this, our next resistance is at 131.5. There's not a whole lot of upside targets. If we reject here, we'll be dipping down to 129. If we lose 128, I'll be looking at 125 as a potential target to fill our gap. So overall, as far as Nvidia goes, we're kind of fighting some tough resistance. I think Nvidia is getting tighter and tighter at 130. So we will see if we reject or not, but just know resistance is getting tougher for Nvidia where we currently are. So just be careful with it. For the QQQ, just like SPY, we actually have a little weaker setup. We have a double top that's forming on the QQQ. If we lose 475, I think there's going to be a risk of it dipping all the way down to 472. If we end up breaking past 476, we could be pushing for 478, but this setup does look a little bit more bearish. We have a double top, like I said, and it's kind of starting to struggle right here at our 5 minutes 200 EMA. So just be careful. That's going to be very pivotal for how we end up moving. So I'm seeing some weakness on the QQQ. There's a risk of it dipping, but we'll see how it reacts to the data. Bitcoin's also shuffling between 67,000 and about 68,500. I think we're going to see a lot of consolidation on Bitcoin, but we'll see if we get a rejection or not. Just to be frank with everyone, the setup on Bitcoin is a little bit more bearish looking because we got a nice double top like structure over here, and we're actually downtrending technically. So we will see if Bitcoin could try to get back above 68,000 or not, but I do favor it's just going to shuffle and consolidate a bit. And then if we lose 66,500, there's going to be a risk of downside, by the way. For a few more, I just want to say that the IWM Russell 2000 is also kind of dipping a bit. If we get back above 200, we could pump. If we fail to hold 200, we're going to be looking at 198 as potential targets. I'm seeing some weakness on the IWM. For Coinbase, we're also kind of shuffling right here. Watch our 200 EMA as resistance. If we break past 248, we'll be looking for the 250s. If we fail to do so, we'll be dipping all the way down to about 243. So I'll be watching this very carefully, but that's what I'm seeing so far. Lots of shuffling, lots of sideways price action. For Amazon, we're also on a bit of a downtrend right over here. If we break past 183.5, we'll be looking for a push all the way up to 185. If we fail to hold 183.5, we'll be dipping all the way down to 181. That's where you have this imbalance all the way down here. So I do think there's a risk of us coming down to 181 if Amazon fails to break 183. So watch and see if we could break that or not. Meta is also showing some weakness where we need to try to get back above 503 to be bullish. We're looking kind of weak right now. So if we lose this support, we'll be looking for a test of 500 and 498. So watch that carefully. GME, we want to see this thing hold above 30 to be bullish. Otherwise, we're just kind of shuffling between 28 and 30. So give it some time. We'll see which way this ends up moving. We're going to likely see a lot of sideways price action. But if we do close above 30 or hold above it, there's going to be upside potential. AMC as well, we want to break past 5.5 to be bullish. Otherwise, we're just trading sideways between 5.3 and 5.1. So we'll give it some time and see how things end up developing, but that's what I'm seeing, at least for the charts thus far. All right, guys, so thank you for listening. Get ready for a big move at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see what the Michigan Consumer Sentiment data causes. Until then, we're going to be very, very patient in the market just like this. SPY is already down a little bit in the pre-market, but we'll see if we come back up to fill our gap or if we get a rejection. I'm going to be very patient, and we'll give the market the time it needs. All right, thank you for listening, guys. I'll see you guys in just about 2 hours from now. Until then, peace out.